Today's topic is empathetic dialogue, bridging hearts with Dhamma. And after the consultation with Sister Joanne, we decided this topic. And looking at this topic, I was taking some time to look into what to be shared with everyone today. But if you look at the topic of empathetic dialogue, in fact, is very significant and very timely, especially in this era. Empathetic is an adjective, right? So it comes from the word empathy. Have you ever heard of empathy? Empathy, I started to know this word when I was in my first degree, taking counseling program. So when learning a subject of person-centered therapy, that means we have to, we need to put the priority to our client, person-centered, not to the approach, not to the maybe problem, not to the solution, but we focus on the individual, right? So when you say, when you talk about putting focus on individual, one of the values, important core values, is empathy, to be empathetic. So during that time, I didn't know what is empathy, even though it has been explained. Definition according to this and that, lots of definition, but still I couldn't really, internalize what does it mean by empathy. In fact, after learning Dhamma, empathy is the Dhamma, And I realized that empathy is the key to the 4 Brahma Vihara. The key to this 4 Brahma Vihara. When you say 4 Brahma Vihara, what are they? Metta, Karuna, Mudita, and also Upeka, right? Like for example, we talk about compassion. You want to feel how people, you want to help people, right? And people is suffering. And when we want to help people, what's the first condition? You must understand people, true or not? So empathy is the key to understand people. All right. So let's looking at the let's go and ponder about the definitions of empathy first. Then we go into what actually we should know about empathy and the functions of empathy. Okay. So now, empathy is very important for social services like us, and also laymen like us, helping out people, helping out our family members at home. As long as we interact with people, it is important. It is important because it's a key to bridge us with others. All right. Now, if you look at the definition I picked from, this one is a common layman word from the Cambridge Dictionary. So empathy, in fact, is the ability to share someone else's feelings or experience by imagining what it would be like to be in that person's situation. In a simpler way, to put yourself in other shoes, to feel how people feel. Say, for example, now, let's say, you see, my daughter just completed and just finished SPM. I think this week will be the last week for SPM. So when looking at her, studying up late night to 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, how do you feel as a parent? Aaron? Huh? Concern lah. Yes, yes. Yes, yes. So Sister Somei say, we have a feeling like if I stay up late, do I have the energy? Huh? Can we focus? That kind of feeling, true or not? We can feel lacking of sleep. We don't feel good. And spirit-wise, you are lacking of spirit doing things, right? So this is how you can feel it. That is so-called putting ourselves in others' shoes. That happen usually to many parents to the children, lah, true or not? And to other people, usually we have less this kind of like empathy, right? But in fact, it can be inculcated. It can be inculcated in order to have that kind of feelings also. So that once we have that so-called understanding, and then we can practice compassion already to help people to take out their suffering, We can practice metta and to give people happiness, Then we can feel how people, when they are happy, we can rejoice over their happiness also. Right? So empathy is important key to our daily life, to the interpersonal relationship. And it is so significant if we can use it in our family. I prepare one video clips, the short clips only, just to enable you to be able to visualize what is empathy, rather than just listening to me. The difference between empathy and sympathy. Sympathy is different, huh? Usually when we see people suffering, we say, oh, kasiannya, yeah, so, so sad to see that. That probably is a kind of like sympathetic situation, feelings only. But empathy is more than that, all right? So let's look at the video.
So what is empathy, and why is it very different than sympathy? Empathy fuels connection. Sympathy drives disconnection. Empathy, it's very interesting. Teresa Wiseman is a nursing scholar who studied professions, very diverse professions where empathy is relevant, and came up with 4 qualities of empathy. Perspective taking, the ability to take the perspective of another person or recognize their perspective as their truth. Staying out of judgment, not easy when you enjoy it as much as most of us do. Recognizing emotion in other people and then communicating that. Empathy is feeling with people. And to me, I always think of empathy as this kind of sacred space when someone's kind of in a deep hole and they shout out from the bottom and they say, I'm stuck, it's dark, I'm overwhelmed. And then we look and we say, hey, you can climb down. I know what it's like down here, and you're not alone. Sympathy is, ooh, it's bad, no, you want a sandwich? Empathy is a choice, and it's a vulnerable choice, because in order to connect with you, I have to connect with something in myself that knows that feeling. Rarely, if ever, does an empathic response begin with at least. And we do it all the time. Because you know what? Someone just shared something with us that's incredibly painful, and we're trying to silver lining it. I don't think that's a verb, but I'm using it as one. We're trying to put the silver lining around it. So, I had a miscarriage. Oh, at least you know you can get pregnant. I think my marriage is falling apart. At least you have a marriage. John's getting kicked out of school. At least Sarah is an A student. But one of the things we do sometimes in the face of very difficult conversations is we try to make things better. If I share something with you that's very difficult, I'd rather you say, I don't even know what to say right now, I'm just so glad you told me. Because the truth is, rarely can a response make something better. What makes something better is connection.
So, what's empathy? Connection, right? What else? Empathy allow you to be able to connect with others more effectively, right? Connectivity is there. Some more? We listen. Try not. We are there to listen. Listening, there, not only listening, there is a term, non-judgmental. This is important. We take others' perspective, but we don't judge. We don't judge. Very difficult, huh? Very difficult. If we are not mindful, we tend to do that. Judgment is always there. This is suffering, huh? Suffering. So the truth is, we have judgment. The truth is, we tend to differentiate. We tend to put values and etc. So if you are not mindful, we tend to probably not being able to be empathetic also, right? Say, for example, in many situations, we like my daughters, always my daughters. I use my example, allow me, easy for me to relate to. During the SPM, now still SPM, so one subject lah. So she spend time, staying late and etc. Studying, and in one subject, she found it not satisfied with what the efforts that they put in. So coming back, try to share it to us. In many situations, we tend to say, "Don't forget about it lah. Don't focus about the mistakes. And then proceed with what you can do in future." We tend to do that, right? Silver lining it, give some positive vibe and etc. And this is what we tend to do. And I believe she got also lots of like positive input also, on social media, positive statement, this and that, should do this, shouldn't do that. And this become a situation, what we call it as positive, what we call toxic positivity. A situation where too much of positivity and that is not achieving a balance. A balance. A balance means to be able to connect with the person with person. So I just, spend time sitting just 5 minutes, 10 minutes, listening to her, grumbling, air out this dissatisfaction and etc. Without judgment. You don't have to ask questions. You don't have to to comment on what she shouldn't be shouldn't be done and etc. Just listen to and try to feel how she feel, and then maybe you can also share your feelings if you were in that situation. That would be good enough. She feel relief after talking, after the connection with the person. So empathy, in fact, is to allow you to have the connectivity. The connectedness is very important, especially when it comes to human relationship. All right. Okay. Now, sorry. In our mundane life, we live in a family, true or not? And we deal with people, family members, colleagues in the workplace, maybe social, in a society, public area, we deal with people, we deal with friends, and etc. And nowadays, the elements of empathy is lacking. Is lacking. Even though the advancements of living consider quite advanced lah, true or not? You can call our parents anytime you want. You can also video call, seeing them face to face. Try not. You can connect with anyone you like at the same time in the group chat group. So in terms of connectivity is there, but the connectedness is not there. The connectedness, what I mean here is so-called elements of feelings, uh, elements of like what I say, the heart to heart, what we call connection is not there. So knowing empathy, learning empathy is so important, especially to sustain our family. So I able to relate this to one of the sutta, which is Sangha Sutta. Buddha talk about this so-called sustaining a relationship, right? In order to maintain a relationship, there are 4 factors. So what are they? Giving, dana, endearing speech. This is Beya Vacha, I think, right? Beneficent conduct, and the last one is a good conduct lah, beneficial one, and impartiality must be also what we call fair, must be about fair. Now, in one family, if we are not able to understand families' needs, situations, and also their their conditions, we won't be able to practice this effectively. Say, for example, giving. How many of you know parents here lah, parents? How many of you know what your husband and wife want? Don't know. No. Or how many of you know is your partners what your partners need? Just a few only, that means you don't know lah. Sometime lah, sometime. I should give you a skill, Likert skill 1 to 5. Sometime lah. Okay. So if you do not know, we tend to give whatever we have, or we tend to give whatever we can. True or not? But if we know, we just need to give what they want or what they need. I think they will be very, uh, uh, appreciative. They will appreciate it so much. Say, for example, the examples that I given just now. I just need to dana my time 10 minutes, 5 minutes or 10 minutes. I need to give my energy and focus just 10 minutes. Then I sit there without judgmental. Listen only. Without judgmental must accompany by acceptance. If your child tell you something or something that they have done, mistake that they have done, we tend to judge. We tend to have this kind of advice, or maybe kind of like, um, punitive kind of words, right? But the dana here is without that one, right? You need to stay there 10 minutes, 5 minutes, just listen. Just listen. So when you say, oh, this is wrong, oh my goodness, then you have to hold our tongue, to bite our tongue, not to say anything, and then just to listen. And then some defilements coming out, you have to deal with it. Deal with it. That is a kind of dana in order to sustain. And dana in terms of time lah, in terms of time. So giving, if you don't understand, if we understand empathy, probably we can give better. But if you don't understand, we tend to give advice. It's also giving what? For not, we give advice not to do that. At least now, next time when we face the same situation, you should do this, then that. Remember? Good one, good one. But the connectedness is not there. Okay, so that is a kind of giving. And endearing speech, we are going to discuss it in detail later, but I'm going not to touch about this. So uh, uh, conduct, beneficial conduct doesn't have to be like, helping up, giving you tuition. Sometimes they don't want you to teach them also. They can learn better without you around. They can learn better with their own technique. So you don't have to give such a things. Maybe just give a tap, just give, you make some drink, early morning or what, for them when they are studying. I think that will be good support already. And then have to be also fair to all members. So-called fair doesn't have to like, if we have 4 children sitting for exam, my the first child you do this, second child you have to do the same thing, third child you have to do the same thing. Not necessarily. Um, the equality sometimes is very hard to achieve, but maybe you can consider equity instead of equality. So have to be fair, not to judge them. Say, for example, just simple example through speech also, right? uh, when you say, oh, your brother during the SPM, he is okay only, not studying like you. This maybe you don't say that. If you don't say that, that is fair enough already. That is fair enough, because without saying it, they themselves know how to compare also. This is also suffering. This is suffering. We tend to compare what. This is dukkha. So what we can do is to help them to lift up their so-called the comparison when they compare themselves with their sibling, when they compare themselves with their friends at school, and they tend to to see their weaknesses. We help them to to identify their strength. These are the good things that in fact we can do for them. So if we can do that, I suppose the relationship between the parent with the children, the sustainability is better, to be able to sustain better. Because relationship have to service, right? You cannot expect relationship is always good or very flat. It is always up and down. What we can do is to sustain or to service it, to service it. So, in order to service, we probably can make use of this aspect with empathy. With empathy, then we will be able to sustain the relationship better, right? Same thing to our partners, to our family members, and etc. So this is to sustain with empathy, sustaining relationship with empathy. Okay. All right. So these are the 4 means. Okay. Now, in social setting like assembly during Chinese New Year, the social assembly like spiritual assembly like us, social assembly with friends and etc. Is also important if we are able to use empathy with Dhamma and to connect with our friends, family members, and etc. Right? So in one of the suttas also, Buddha talked about assembly, the quality of these so-called types of assembly. There are 3 types of assembly according to this sutta, Parisa Sutta in Anguttara Nikaya. The first type is very perfect one, but very rare. Perfect but rare. Perfect one means, say for example, we just celebrated our Chinese New Year, right? So when there is a family gathering, there are lots of like several what do you call generation 不同辈分的 several generation gathering together. So according to Buddha, a perfect gathering or assembly is supposed to be the elders will lead the juniors, true or not? And then whatever is lacking in elders, they will try to train themselves, they will try to observe, they try to behave and etc. And then juniors also pay respect to the elders, and juniors also follow what elders do. So that's his perfect one. But in many situations, when family getting together, this won't be able to achieve. True or not? Even though we come from the same root lah. Same root means same surname, same surname maybe. But when we gather, there are different perspectives, there are different values, different practices. Let's say perspective. Okay, Chinese New Year, you don't have to, serve so much of these dishes lah. Just simple only. Important is gathering. That's one perspective. Another perspective will say, oh, a gathering, we have to serve good food once in a year. So make sure food is good and delicious. Then that's another perspective. With this different perspective, sometimes it will cause conflicts, misunderstanding and etc. Oh, I come back from far, you just serve me this food. Because some people they have to, some kind of perspective is to serve food which you couldn't finish it. That is one perspective, right? 年年有余嘛，要吃，there must be a balance when you eat. You eat must be balanced. No balance means no good. So to have to serve more than what it's supposed to be, right? But different perspectives say, oh, this is wasting lah. Serving this next year, don't have to serve this lah. When this word is said, then other people heard, they will say, oh, my intentions is good, you say this to me. That conflicts happen already. But if we are aware of that perspective, we are able to feel how people feel, then probably these conflicts won't be that that rampant. It won't happen, or maybe it happened, but we are aware of it. All right. So this is what it means: assembly with harmoniously assembly. Harmonious means the third one. Harmonious means we are able to take others' perspective. We are able to accept these differences or perspective. And we are not judgmental. We can accept that. It's okay. Once in a year, wasting, but how to manage that waste? How to manage it, it's not enough. Oh, it's very, thankful and grateful because we are able to finish all the food. Grateful, right? So this is to be able to accept that situation without judgment, right? Without judgment. So that is important in any kind of like assembly, right? So the second one is Buddha said, in fact, it can cause the divisions of the assembly lah. If we insist this is right, this is wrong, we cannot take in the mistakes of others. We cannot. We tend to be judgmental most of the time. Then it will be so-called the division will happen. Division will happen means next year you do yours lah, I do mine. Easy what? easy. Then no issue, no problem. Usually it happens like that. This is a solution if we focus on solution. But we focus on people, we supposed to be understanding others, right? And this is a dukkha, a dukkha with those doubts and etc. So up to this point, I've shared with you. In order to sustain relationship, we need to polish, maintain it using empathetic kind of like quality. Apply some so-called words of the teaching from the Buddha, then it will be able to help it to sustain. And also in different gathering, different natures of gathering also is very important. If we are able to make use of the quality of empathy, and then it can be also useful, right? Now, let's talking about vacha, speech, right? Speech. Yes, yes. Maybe you have anything to ask before going further?
Brother Bunke, just now you mentioned something about we should apply equity rather than equality. Could you expand on that? Thank you.
Thank you. Equality, our ideas of equality must be like first child, my practice. First child, you have A. Second child, you should have A also. That is equal. That is our idea usually. Try to make it equal. But when you say equity, it has to be fair. Like first child, when talking about food serving, we serve first child. And talking about leisure, play, we serve the youngest one first. That is my practice. And my girls knows, when come to play, the second one first. When come to food, they will let the eldest one first. That is equity. It's not equal. If you want to put in equal, you have to quantify it, make it a number, then you equal. But it won't be equal. It have to be fair. Fair, right? So I feel fair, she feel fair, and they agree with it. That is what I mean. Okay. Thank you. Any more? Okay. Brother?
Whether you're applying on empathy, are you telling us you are losing your character, your principle? Because you always put in your thinking, you put in people's thinking, then you keep on correct with them, say, oh yeah, it's true also. In this way also true also. So slowly you lost your principle.
You mean empathy?
Empathy.
Empathy. Oh, okay.
Because we put ourselves in their shoes.
Okay.
So slowly we'll be building up like, anything also, okay, you give in and give in. Yeah, will it be?
Okay. Thank you, brother. That is maybe one of the understanding. In fact, empathy is just a quality, because there are many other quality which formulate principle. So especially when we connect with people, especially in helping profession, empathy is very important quality. When we want to help, not only counselors, psychologists, doctors, nurses, teachers also, when they want to help others, they must be able to feel how people feel. Then only you can help objectively. But what maybe brother understand is, when we put ourselves all the time like that, then maybe you tend to have this tendency of like losing your character or your principle. Not quite. The empathy here is a quality, as I say, you have to hold it as a principle objectively, when it is needed. And the understanding of maybe to brother, understanding of empathy is not making you losing yourself. Is just a quality. Like for example, when we talk about 4 Brahma Vihara, right? When you say, oh, the other side is having war lah. Here no war, okay. True or not? But if you can develop a kind of empathy, maybe you can feel, let's say, there is, explosion next door. Or when you heard some sounds just in your neighboring area, lah, some sound, you might have a concern what might happen. That's a kind of like not being indifferent. Indifferent means never mind, or agree, right? So that is what I'm trying to tell you. Developing this quality is try to make ourselves aware first, and then being able to connect with the others. So when we put ourselves in the shoes that, oh, now I can feel if explosion happen, something happen in our family, among our family members, if I were you, how I feel. If you have that kind of feelings, you tend not to, you tone down a little bit, true or not? Rather than sticking it too firmly, Sometimes that firm is not good. So that you can be compassionate, so that you can take some action to live up their so-called the people's suffering or situation. Is that okay, brother? Is my answer okay? Okay, huh? Thank you. Yes, sister at the back. So interesting topic. Many questions mean interesting topic lah. Good.
Thank you, brother, for the Dharma talks today.
Sister.
And I have a questions about empathy. When we evaluate in a calm mind, it makes a lot of sense, and it is something that very important to cultivate. But as a layperson, our day-to-day life has a lot of duties, and it will make life very tense up. And sometimes we don't have the space, like like in a monastery or in a temple. If you practice full time, you have a lot of time to have the space to be calm, to be nice, no judgment. It's very easy to be done. What is the skillful means that you could actually share with us that how to handle it when your life is very busy and tense up?
Okay. All right. Thank you, sister. So what sister is trying to ask is, in our daily routine, we are full of responsibilities, sending children to school, coming back, doing our house chores, doing this and that. How do you expect me to be empathetic? If I am not feeling angry, that is good enough. True or not, sister? Yes, I agree with you. But this quality, if it can be trained, it can be trained. When I say it can be trained, means many people have gone through the process and the quality can be obtained. Of course, our daily lives, if we practice Dhamma, we practice Sila, Dana, Sila, Bhavana, true or not? So Dana, this we have to, what Buddha always advises, to open up our heart, to give what we can, not to give, give what we can. What we can means to open up our heart rather than focus on ourselves. Dana. Sila mean we need to follow certain things which we can do, which we shouldn't do. We have to follow that. Bhavana means all this quality of heart and our mind. So if you mention about empathy, it is maybe too loose when you say only empathy. But accompanied by Dana and Sila, I think practicing this will be okay. plus practice of mindfulness. Mindfulness. Say, for example, sister, every day when we are rushing, I rush, everyone rush. So when you rush, what you do, you observe our mind, right? Before observe our mind, we have to focus first lah. We have to find a focus point. Then only we know our minds, what is in our mind. If we don't have a focus point, then we cannot see our mind. True or not? So the focus point is go back to our breath, looking our breath in and out. And then we can, there are lots of thoughts coming up already. And then we observe lah. This is what you can do. So even though we are rushing, but still we are mindful about that, right? So when we are mindful of that, we do it regularly, it becomes a habit. Then you feel when you are rushing, you are tensing, you are stressful, that won't affect you so much already. When you are okay with it, then you are able to, connect with others better. Otherwise, when we are tensing, we focus on ourselves only. True or not? Without you realize of it, this is condition. Our behavior is conditioned like that. And it is dukkha. So, what we can do is to be mindful through the practice of sila and etc. Then you are able to focus better. Then you can develop those quality slowly, right? Doesn't have to be setting up a quiet room, conducive, lit up some incense, playing some music, not necessarily. This is what therapy is doing, But to me, I don't subscribe to that so much. It helps to a certain extent only, right? It helps to a certain extent to calm you down. You feel pleasant, that's all. It's still essential. But when you are able to focus, you feel you are settled. When you are settled, then only you are able to connect with others. Otherwise, a lots of thoughts disturbing you. When the thoughts are popping up, your emotions is aroused. Your emotions is aroused, you tend to react rather than respond. Reactions happen and etc. All right. So this we need to practice, sister. Thank you. And any more questions? Yeah. Okay. This is also a good question, especially in helping profession. Over empathize is a problem. Not only giving in, bringing along with us, that kind of emotions, thoughts, it will be stressful. Like when we listen to people's problem and issue, then we bring home, there's a flashback, things are coming up and it make you more stressful, right? So what you can do, I think, is the practice of upeka, letting it go. Of course, it will be training, and need some training, and giving in for empathy probably is not quite. We don't always give in. Empathetic is to feel how they feel. But when we want to help, sometimes it depends on situation. And how we help also depends on the condition. And when come to the end, the wisdom serve, right? So many aspects to be considered lah. This is just a quality only, sister. Okay. Any more questions? Oh, brother. In fact, this is just a fourth slide. Okay, but we have a few more slides only lah.
Good morning, Brother Boon.
Yeah,
Can you hear?
Yeah.
I'm just wondering. I mean, it may sound very cold, but understanding what the other person feels and feeling what the other person feels, I think it's not very helpful, because what he feels is what we feel also. I mean, on my side, I feel the same if I were in his situation or in any other similar situation. So he feels that because he has his own opinions, he has desires, eh, as any other human being has. So I think feeling what they feel is very much feeling what I myself am feeling. It doesn't give any grounds. But if we have certain wisdom in feeling what they feel, and then we know, okay, this is due to certain opinions that he has. It could be something internal, not just external. Somebody hitting you without reason. Could be that person feeling unjust. Things done to him unjustified because of his own desires, his own opinions, his own views, which is biased. In the first place, is biased because that person is not an arhan, or is he an arya, or any more wiser than us. So for us to have that, first to have that wisdom, is more important, to know that he has his own bias, therefore he feels what he feels. He's under the situation where he is now, he or she. I think with that, but of course that comes with a lot of dharma talk, a lot of practice. That is a very high level of empathy. But on a very basic level, what to do on a day-to-day basis, kind of empathy, feeling what the other person feels is not very helpful, in my opinion. Maybe there is another methodology, maybe in a further slide, you'll be coming to that, but that's my opinion.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, brother. Yes, wisdom is important, but empathy here, we make it, we do a simple practice lah. Can you pick anyone in this room and you try to feel how the person feel? Try and see. Cannot, cannot. Never mind. I change it now. Try to imagine or visualize. You try to visualize one of your family members. Okay, you got it right now. Try to put yourself if you are the person. Have you done that? Okay. You do the person's job. You do like the persons do at home. If grumbling, you also grumbling lah right now. You try to feel how the person feel. The reason why she's feeling so. If you were the person doing it, will you be doing the same? Okay, now this is just a practice only lah. So what's your finding? Very phenomenology lah, very internal one. So how do you feel when you are putting yourselves in other shoes? Can you connect to the person better? Right? Or you can't? Maybe cannot yet lah. You can practice it lah. It's like metta bhavana also, true or not? May I be free from harm and danger. May I be free. I here is who? You, your body, your mind. May my parents be free from harm and danger. Are they in danger? If they are not in danger, may my friends be free from danger. So if it's a kind of like opening your heart to be connected, that is the idea. This is the idea. Same thing, helping profession, right? So when a client come to me saying that he or she is having a sleepless night for in the past few weeks. So as a counselor, and this is counselor's perspective lah, as a counselor, probably we need to also understand the person, true or not? Maybe from a doctor's perspective, doctor have to do some kind of diagnosis, try to identify what are the signs, what are the symptoms, and then in order to do a correct prescription. Counselor, we don't prescribe, but in order for us to understand the person, is a thought therapy, talking only. That therapy is talking. So we need to have that quality in order to understand the person, to be connected to the person, and to relieve so-called the 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 tensing situation of the client and etc. Right? So that is the idea. That is the idea. That's why I say empathy is the key to all so-called what they call the four Brahma Vihara, right? We sometimes we cannot feel also how it sounds very negative, true or not? We feel people sad or feel this sad, then you are also sad. Not like that. We must also feel how people are happy. When they score straight A's, they feel happy or not? They probably, if you were the person, how do you feel? You know, if the person has just recovered from a disease or illness, you know, that kind of relief in them, can you feel it or not? That kind of like so-called empathy lah. That is empathy. If you can have that kind of feelings, then you can rejoice. You can rejoice. Then if you don't have that kind of feeling, then you cannot rejoice, right? Then of course, at the end, Upeka is playing the role as the wisdom. Upeka is how much we can let go, how much we can, we can make use of it on and off. You can switch it on, you can switch it off. That is the wisdom part already. Not wisdom park, wisdom component, right? Okay, is that okay so far? Okay, just an understanding. However, we need to ponder about it, and then we need to also practice according to the Dhamma. All right, now a few more slides to go. Just now we mentioned about speech, right? Speech is very important in our daily life, and one of the sila is also asking us to observe our speech. And the one of the Eightfold Path is wanting us to practice the right way of, in speech, right? So speech is so important, especially when we want to understand people. Speech is so important. And speech also can create lots of misunderstanding, true or not? And that's why, even though it is mild, but it is important. What I mean mild means it happens frequently. Sometimes we take it seriously, sometimes we don't take it seriously. Compared to some other conduct, or like when we kill, there is no chance. True or not? Recently, you see, when a person is intoxicated, what the person do also don't know, pushing from the building and etc. It happened. So that is serious karma, serious. But speech, sometimes we have done lots of mistaken speech, but it is mild. It hurts. Frequently it happens, right? Because of that, I think it's worth for us to observe how speech can assist us, and how speech also can hurt others. Now, look, According to Vacha Sutta, Buddha talked about well-spoken speech or well-spoken words, right? So this sutta say monks, a statement endowed with 5 factors is well-spoken. So when we consider these 5 factors, and it is no ill-spoken, it is blameless, unfaulted by knowledgeable people. And which 5? So these are the 5 components. When we speak, we have to speak the truth, not in order. Speak the truth. Speak what it is loving to people, affectionately loving to people lah. People like to listen one. 说好话啊，说好话 loving. When we speak with objective. That means it's whether it's beneficial to the person or not. And then with the right time and with good intention. So these are the 5 components, 5 factors which Buddha advised in this so-called Vajrasutta. What I would want to relate actually is about our daily life, especially. Our speech, the way of communication is conditioned. True or not? Our way of communication is conditioned. You agree? That means when I see Brother Tay, I will use a kind of communication way. When I see Sister Joanne, I will use one style of communication. And the content, of course, it depends on the relationship lah. Of course, when I meet Brother Tay, the conversation, the content is related to our experience. Same thing with Sister Joanne, true or not? In our daily life also the same thing. But we tend to be reckless, especially with our family members. We meet them every day, right? And it become a kind of habit already. Say, for example, we want to, a cup, after drinking the cup, let's say, right? So when my daughter, after drinking Milo, let's say, putting there, so she have not washed it. So we say, wash the cup lah. Sometimes we say wash the cup, we will add some more adjective, not adjective lah, some idiom, no, idiom or adjective lah. Like for example, oh, you go and wash the cup. Otherwise, the cup, you will have like for example, you wash a cup, or you want to be friend with what do you call ants, or are you a friends of cockroach, or something like that? You understand or not? That's kind of habit lah. We want to make the speech more flowering, more attractive. This happen, right? You have this experience or not? We always have that. And it is conditioned. Why conditioned? Because our speech is also conditioned by our parenting. Then our parents also is conditioned by their parents. So if we trace back to the root, then the ancestor have to be blamed. We cannot do that. But what I mean here, if we are mindful about speech, then we can realize that in fact, some speech are not necessary. You understand what I mean or not? Like the adjective sometimes is not necessary. Unless you are writing composition or essay, then okay lah. You want to publish a paper, you have to make it beautiful, then okay. But sometimes it's not necessary, right? So we talk only the truth. So you haven't washed your cup, remember to wash the cup. That is the truth. But you haven't washed your cup, you want to be a friend of cockroach, that is not the truth. Am I a friend of cockroach? But you are relating, not washing the cup. It can attract cockroach. It can attract ants. Then you relate with that thinking. You give out the speech. Then what? How the people when they listen to it, they feel offended. They will put it there for longer time. Longer time, you are not happy. Then you will just grumble, take it, wash on your own instead of asking them to wash. And then you grumble, they are not happy. When you are grumble, they are not happy. They also, give out their kind of like unsatisfactory speech to you. You listen, you heard, then you complain that they are not listening, not good boy or good girl. This is what I mean. Speech is mundane, speech is mild, but it happened. It happened. But if we realize about it, we tend to be silent. But silent doesn't mean good. This is transition. Silent because you're aware. Then you tend to keep silent. When you are silent, sometimes it is not good. Keep silence, you are not connected. You are, suppressing, or you are trying to hold up the situation not to be worse. But when you are aware and you are trying to step up one more to, connect it with empathy, if you are staying with someone who are silent all the time, how do you feel? You feel awkward also, try not. You wish the person to tell you to start the conversation also, try not. So if you have that kind of like feelings, you will start off the conversation. But this time is different. This time conversation is not automated. You are more mindful. You choose words, what to say, what not to say, and etc. So because of that, it allows you to be able to connect with others better. So well-spoken words, we have to see whether it consists of truth or not, whether there is a truth, real or not. Because sometimes when we speak, there are lots of values, perspective, which affect our speech. Then we do not know whether it's true, right? Like for example, today is so hot. I think many people will want, we will want just to stay at home, just switch on the aircon, staying at home. Is that a truth? Not quite, right? It's a perspective. You feel hot. You are thinking of being in the aircon room. Then you try to relate to other people also. We want to live in the aircon room. But if I say, today is hot, the degree is, I think, 40 Celsius degree, if you have that. Is it the truth? Yes, this is the truth, because you have measured it and it is hot. That is the truth. But most of the time, when we say something true, or we say something, sometimes it is not true. To you, it is true, not necessary to others. So we have to observe, so-called, what is true or not. All right? So the cup which is not washed is a true. Attracting what they call you are being a friend of the ants or cockroach might not be true. All right? So that's a so-called true. Affectionate must be loving. Loving. Sometimes we tend to use very strong words, and these words are not loving. Not strong words, but with objective, goodwill, right time, probably it helps. But if you don't consider timing and also intention, then probably it won't be helpful, not beneficial also to the person, right? So beneficial, we have to consider whether it's helpful, and then whether it's loving or not, right? Like teacher lah, as a teacher, when we teach students, we hope students will turn out, score A minus, whatever, A, as long as A. Then if the students, teacher expect the students score A, student didn't score, and then when teachers probably, comment on the performance of the students, then probably the words used, this is easy only. I think standard one student also can answer. This is just to, to make it sound good, or to represent that maybe is not loving, not affectionate, right? So, but we tend to do that quite frequently. These components are important when we to be used in our daily life. In fact, we can consider right time or not, And then similar to this well-spoken speech, Buddha also in Abhaya Sutta have also given us the reference of when to say, when not to say. Okay, so these are the 6 conditions. And in fact, if you look at these 6 conditions, it covers the components. Like just now we mentioned the 5 components, but at least 4 components are there. Number 1 is this one, right? Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Okay, you see, factual or true, whether it's facts or not facts. Sometimes facts and opinions is different. So, lawyer no lah, lawyer. Lawyer is very particular. Whatever is stated on the paper have to be facts, not opinion. Now, so factual, true, that is one. Beneficial or not beneficial, that is one. Endearing or agreeable, that is one. So 3 component already. Another one is, this is 3 component. Another one is when to say. The time is another component. So in this sutta, it doesn't mention about goodwill or ill will, but it mentioned about 4 components. Whether it's facts or non-facts, beneficial or not beneficial, loving or not loving, and then the last is when to speak, right? So this sutta, in fact, explain the right practice of speech. And maybe I give you some example instead of telling you the story of Abhaya, Prince Abhaya lah. This Buddha has given this sutta to Prince Abhaya, right? Abhaya, when Prince Abhaya was influenced by Niganta Nataputta, one of Jain's what they call master, wanting the prince to test the Buddha, Gautama Buddha. So asking the Prince Abhaya to see Gautama Buddha, to ask Buddha, did you speak, ill spoken words? And if the Buddha say no, then the master teach Abhaya, Prince Abhaya, to say, if you say no, why you say Devadatta have done something wrong, you will be going to the hell and etc. Is not, are they not ill words? So this is what to trick Buddha lah. So the prince also went to the Buddha and then invite Buddha to the home, and after serving the Buddha, and asked the Buddha the same thing. But when Buddha asked, Gautama Buddha, master, did you speak ill words? Buddha say, it depends. When Buddha say it depends, so the prince realized already. So now the Jain master is defeated already. So then after that, Buddha tell Abhaya, Prince Abhaya, about this sutta. So when we use the right words, when not to use, and what components involved also. So these are the 6 situations. The first situation is to be unfactual, untrue, unbeneficial, endearing, disagreeable to others. Buddha won't say it. So if not true, so like for example, Buddha won't use harsh word. Try not. 恶口 harsh word when scolding people which is not right or not true. Buddha won't do that. Number 2, to be factual, true is facts and true. Unbeneficial, endearing, disagreeable to others. He doesn't say also. He doesn't say also. It means this example like it is factual and true lah. This is what will happen also when we comment about politics, political view, So this is not right. Even though there is a war, who started the war, that is factual and true. But further up, when we comment on certain thing, based on our opinion, might not be beneficial also, So not beneficial, not endearing, disagreement, disagreeable, and Buddha won't say it also. And the third one, to be factual, true, but beneficial. When you say, there are some habits of our children which is not good one, that is true or not. And then beneficial, if you want to tell them, beneficial. But when you tell them, you use the words which is like, a bit harsh or a bit strong, not loving to them, then you need to find a proper time lah, proper time. And then only you can tell. I remember when I was attending a training, when the trainer found you have some mistake or not right, the trainer will, after the training, will call you aside. I will tell you what is not right or wrong. But some trainer will just pointing you out. That is true, beneficial to you, but not loving probably. So have to find right time also, right? And this is especially to our home at home lah. When we want to especially want to teach our children, we know this is beneficial to them. We know this is right to them. They have done something which is not right, and etc. We need to also consider when to tell them. When to tell them. I think Buddha's very what they call classic example of teaching Rahula. Remember, that is one situation. Rahula have done some mistakes and etc. And then when Rahula serving Buddha, washing the feet and etc. So using the similes of the water and to teach Rahula. And during that time, Rahula are ready mentally, state, and he can accept it, right? So that is also finding the right time, proper time to say it. And number 4 is unfactual, not true, unbeneficial, not beneficial, but people like to hear. What situation is this? Gossip lah. Gossip. People like to hear endearing, agreeable to others. He also don't talk. And this, another classic example is like standing comedy, right? Sometimes for entertainment, not hurting others is okay. But sometimes when we over state, probably it will cause harm to some other parties, some other people also, not only individual, it can be society, organization, even country. So this is important. Number 5, and gossip is the also very common one. Number 5 is factual, true. Factual is right, but not beneficial, but endearing. Endearing, agreeable. What situation will be? This is also like gossip, but gossip with truth. Talking about true one. Huh? Got ah? Got also lah. Sometimes we have like, sometimes okay lah, but every time not okay. Going, spending time coffee shop talking about, catching up with our friend. That's his factual. We talk about fact, true, updates, okay. And that's just one in the years we do, during Chinese New Year we do that. But if every day might not be also beneficial, might not be that beneficial. But endearing for social well-being probably okay. But for spiritual well-being might not be that good, right? But for Buddha, he doesn't do that. The last one, to be factual, true, beneficial, endearing, agreeable to others, and he has a sense of proper time also. All condition consider fulfilled, quite good already. Talking about truth, yes. Talking about beneficial or not, yes, beneficial. Loving or not, endearing to others or not, yes. But still, Buddha has to find right time to talk to the person, to find right time. Just now I have shared to sisters also about this. Like say for example, at home, when one of our children is good, excellent, so we tend to praise them right away. But we need to also consider sometimes praise is not good at that particular time, So when you praise and overly praise sometimes, overly praise or praise, it can cause maybe some other siblings overhurt, or maybe the hurt something behind the words or between the lines that could also bring some, unexpected kind of like effect also to them, right? Maybe they think that, oh, you are comparing me to them or to him or what, or maybe if they don't say so, they will have that kind of comparison also, So maybe we need to also consider it consider that. So Buddha have stated it in the sutta, I think. So not only all are good one, then we can say. Sometimes we need to also when to say. That is important. All right. So these are the examples, examples of situations that we can consider when we practice this so-called vacha or samavacha, right speech.